Hello everyone, welcome to the hobby desk. I'm back back at home after having my Christmas break with my parents. So just firstly, just happy new year to you all and all the best and all that. Wishing you a prosperous 2022, prospero año and all that. So yeah, so not long been back, and I'm just trying to get things straight in my with my hobby space. Kind of left it in a bit of a mess. I was obviously always in a last minute rush when you're traveling home and all that kind of stuff. So just sort of having a little tidy and getting all my paints and stuff put away. I've just been reorganising all my paints to all my little cubbies. I've it all sorted out, so I might not be able to see that because I've not got the big light on, but like skin tones, so my primaries, secondaries, these are all my metallics, black, grey, white. This is like how I like to do it. My washes in here, weathering paints there, on my mediums, and then down there I've got some like oils and shit. Yeah, so last video I think I put out was showing you all the basing that I got done. Managed to get like probably 20, 25, 30 models done while I was back home, so I'm pretty pleased with that. Now I've got the old airbrush. I'm gonna get all that sealed in, start getting some colours down on the bases and paint the rest of the models out. Neck ones I'm all doing by brush really, apart from the actual basing of it. I'll give that a little blast with my airbrush. Yeah, apart from that, they're being brush painted. I'm experimenting at the minute with some airbrush painted and some actual just stipple painted black Templars. So if you can just see this guy, give him a bit of light. This guy I've kind of done like I think I painted it chocolate brown first, and then I've just like stippled on black. It's a little bit difficult to see, but you can see up on the shoulder pad there. See if I can just focus it a little bit. See on the shoulder pad, it's got that kind of like brown. There you go. All the recesses you can kind of see like sort of brown. And what I did is I put some texture on it first, some like scratches, bullet holes, that kind of stuff. Get it nice and weathered. So kind of just experiment with a few of these, and I'm gonna paint a few up in like these different ways. So I'm still not 100% how I want to like paint the full lot of my Templars. Like the obviously like prerequisite for me is that they're all gonna be battered and weathered and worn and whatnot. So but I'm just sort of experimenting with some different ways of actually getting the battered, weathered and worn look on them. When I did get back, rather than start tidying this, I spent some time on this guy. So if you see that, that's the new HELBRECHT. And I thought with it being black Templars, and really when you're modelling and painting Templars, you've really got to, I always say like less is more. I think that with like we say weathering and scratching and all that kind of stuff, and whenever you try and model character onto stuff, I think to keep the scale of the actual figure, that they are actually like 10, 11, 12 foot super soldiers or however tall they are. I think when you start sticking too much stuff on and like modelling things on, it's too big and you start to lose the scale of it. So I think there is a rule with that kind of thing where a bit less is more, but I think sometimes with black Templars, I think like they are, if you're going to be like ostentatious as fuck with the grimdark, it's like the black Templars are the one to do, like more like purity seals and chains and all that kind of candles and skulls and whatever, just everything like that on the base is on the model is good. So I do like to give a little height to my minis. And this is a guy who's been sat on my desk for far too long and needs to get finished, but that's a dreadnought I've been doing, which this is like, that's just the initial cork that I've put down that'll like need to be like sculpted and smoothed off to make it look like actual ground rather than just cork piled up on each other, which is what I've done here. I wanted this to kind of be, this is more going to be more of a like a, you know, display piece, but you could still use it in a game because I've kept the actual base on here. So that's the, I don't know what that was. Stay. But I don't know if that was a 60, 70 mil base, something like that. So it's a big old base for a regular model, maybe 80 mil base. But I just felt like the way that you have this little like plastic sort of, you know, terrain, like lifting him up anyway, so which does look cool. But I think when you actually put it onto just the base that's applied, it's like this is all kind of like touching the edges, and like I feel like these guys are like kind of like right on the edge and sort of falling off, and yeah, I just think that the base that it was supplied on is a little bit too small. There's a lot going on in this little small bit, which, like I say, is about Templars, so quite rightly so. But I thought I was going to build it up anyway, just make this a bit taller, and then I thought, you know, why I'm doing that, I could probably do it in a way where I'm building it up, kind of making it a bit more dramatic. So we get like an aggressor, and put that next to him. I mean, like this is like basically as tall as like an aggressor, so he's like even more than head and shoulders above like the rank and file. So basically what I did is I did a few layers of cork on the bottom, and then I just started to tear bits off. So actually in here, this is all just filler. So the apart from like the kind of the bottom layer, I think, or maybe bottom 2 layers, like all these upper layers where I kind of made it like go in, because I wanted to kind of like give it almost like a Pride Rock feel, you know, like he's kind of stood on this like, you know, precipice, this like, you know, rock Diaz, like surveying the battlefield sort of thing. So like what I wanted to do is like have the sort of foundations here, and like have it like kind of going in and then back out again, you know, like sort of. And then what I did is I made it at the back, I almost like shuffled it over, so I've made like a bit that's kind of going in here. My plan is that I'm going to put like, so he'll be facing out this way, so as you look at it, sort of like golden angle, and then I'm going to put like some skull piles in here, some candles, some skull and bones. I was thinking of maybe even putting like a skeleton chained across here or something like that. But what I did to make a bit more, obviously like it goes in and comes back out bigger than the actual base, and then to kind of, you know, a little bit of a trick of the eye, it comes out quite a lot at the back, so it actually creates more room than the original base would. And then he's gonna, so I've put this little cocktail stick here, that's the direction his face is gonna be, so he'll be looking out there. And then this fits nicely on here. I'm gonna add some more little bits of texture, and then kind of blend the actual plastic bit that came with the HELBRECHT model into the base. Put some rocks and stuff. I'm just gonna sort of like smooth off these edges, not smooth off actually, like rough these edges up a little bit. And then there's still some bits where like you can actually see the layers of cork. So just there'll be bits where I just need to either take like bits of this, like which is the little bits of cork that just kind of I've scratched off to smooth all this over and stick those over any lines, any straight lines. And then I've got loads of different sort of grain, like modelling, like basing materials. And then this is, like I did in my last video, this is like my favourite at the minute, so kind of use this as an adhesive as well as having it so it's got some texture in it. So yeah, so that's my HELBRECHT. So I'll look to get that his base finished, and then again with all these guys I can spray it and get that ready for painting. Halfway through this at the minute, so into the halfway through the second book and halfway through the omnibus. Really great. I discussed a little bit of this in a previous video. It's just nice to see sort of a different angle, and like a bit more, adds a bit more character to like sort of Chaos or Renegade Space Marines. And on the back of this, I'm looking. I've heard it's a pretty good book. There's the Henry Zoo. I think it's the Bastion Wars trilogy. And the first book is on the Blood Gorgons, which are like Renegade Space Marine chapter. And I've read a few reviews and they seem to be quite positive, so I think I'm going to buy that omnibus and read that after this. I think they all focus around the same sort of like campaigns or whatever, but I'm not sure if each book is from a different perspective, because I think the second one is about like Imperial Guard, so, or at least it's got Imperial Guard on the front of the book. And then yeah, just like thanks to my brother, he got me some Mark III Space Marines for Christmas, so looking forward to. I think I'm actually, I do already have some of these, which I've used as parts, so I don't know whether to actually make this up or just, because I think like the helmets and the bodies and the shoulder pads and that on these minis are so cool, and like with them having like, you know, sort of Heresy era weapons, which I always think like look like the old, like I think the older weapons still look really cool on the, like if you mix them, say with like, you know, even the Primaris like Marines, they touch Firstborn too much anymore, but these look pretty badass with, you know, like the sort of the Black Templar sort of aesthetic. Tons of chain swords as well, so it's cool. Well, the helmets especially, with them being like, you know, Black Templars kind of being these like knights, very knightly. These are wicked, so I'll be using, I don't know whether to, like say, use them for parts or use them, build some of them. I might do 50-50. I might like build a combat squad of these and use the other bits for parts. So yeah, not too much else to report. Like I say, I've just sort of landed really back home, so just getting everything straight again. Everything needs to have a place, tidy, before I go and completely mess everything up and get everything untidy as I'm building about 18 projects and painting about 18 projects at the same time. So, oh, actually, one more thing. This came out on Microsoft Game Pass, I think in December. So I was giving Battle Sector a go, which is pretty much, it's like tabletop, like a tabletop port almost of you know, the actual sort of game. It's like turn-based and it's very, you know, obviously without dice and you know, range rulers and all that kind of stuff. But it's like a very, I'd say, you know, true to 40k port of actual tabletop. So yeah, it's like, you know, turn-based. You have like action points to spend on like a bit, kind of like Divinity Original Sin and that kind of stuff. So yeah, you use your, you know, each unit has a various number of action points which you can use to, like, you know, shoot and fight and stuff. Yeah, so I've played this for a couple of hours and it's pretty good. So if obviously you like tabletop and that, and especially if you've got Game Pass, yeah, I'd recommend it. And if not, I think it's only about £25, so it's not too expensive for a game these days. So you know, one of the better games, I would say, that Games Workshop has released over the past few years. Yeah, definitely up there anyway. So that's all for today's video. I was like, Wednesday's my upload day, so just trying to make sure I didn't miss it and not had too much time to with travelling back home to make a sort of a tutorial or anything. So just a quick update video today. But yeah, so happy New Year to you all, and I'll see you in the next video.